Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am bringing you another in our series of 12 layouts for Christmas. And this layout is based or inspired from the challenge number 2 of the December virtual crop. Or actually, I beg your pardon, I think this is actually the November virtual crop. At any rate, this is the sketch that we're going to use for inspiration today. However, I think it's safe to say that our version is going to turn out just a little bit different. So stay tuned. I'm using polar lights today and an assortment of coordinating cardstock. So I've got these two really fun designer sheets that are going to be our base papers. We're going to use this side with all the different colors, and that's going to be our base. Then I've got 3 sheets of cardstock here. I have the sure, the name just went out of my head. This is the let me double check it so I don't give you the wrong name. Yeah, dark sea green. Sorry, I'm totally spaced on that. Dark sea green and light blue, and this one is a new one. It's a tropical. No. Hang on. It is Island Waters. So dark sea green, light blue, and Island Waters, and they match the shades in this designer paper pretty well. The dark sea green is a little bit darker, but I feel like it works really well with the paper. So we're going to use that. I have a little bitty sheet too, a little bit left of this one, which is also a designer paper from Polar Lights with the snowflakes. So we're going to use that one as well. And I pulled out a couple of our punches. Oh, pardon me, my goodness. A couple of our punches that we're going to use. This is an old one, and if you have been around Creative Memories and used our products for a while, you may have this in your stash. This is the Winter Town punch, and we're going to use that. We're also going to use just the snowflakes from the snowflake frame punch as our embellishments, and then I'm going to use the new border maker that is the snowflake circle punch today with our board maker system. And we'll of course need our repositionable and permanent adhesive and our trimmer probably for at least some portion of this. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to move my base papers off to the side because we won't need them for a few minutes. So we're going to stick them up there. Move my adhesive over here till we have something to adhere. And as you can see from our sketch, we've got some pieces in here that are a bit of a border that stretch across both of the 2 pages in this layout. So according to the sketch, they've got 2 pieces and each one is 1.5 by 12 inches. I'm going to do mine a little bit differently. So if you want to do what I'm doing, follow my directions and I will try not to lead you astray. Okay, this is for punching our snowflakes, so we're going to set that aside over there, and we'll punch that in a minute. Let's start with our borders because we have quite a few of those to get punched. I'm going to use, and I have, please excuse my little notes, but I wanted to make sure that I was not leading you down the wrong path and having you punch the wrong things and not realizing it until I went to assemble things together. So we are going to punch 4 of our snowflake chains, snowflake circle chains, snowflake circle chains. And we're going to do 4 of those. So let me get my paper set up so we can do that. If you don't have our border maker system, this is a wonderful gift for anyone that you know that likes to play with paper It's by far the most versatile and least expensive tool that I've ever owned and loved. So I'm just cutting a few of these, and I'll worry about my scraps, my confetti that I'm making when I'm all done. So I need 4 of these all together so that I can use 2 on each side of my layout. And if I'm really smooth, I might actually rescue some of the snowflakes that I'm punching out using this punch to use as part of our embellishing in the rest of our layout. That would be really smooth, wouldn't it? Let me try to do that. Okay, so I have this little small narrow piece left, but I still need to punch one more. So this is the magic that happens when you are trying to manipulate a tiny, or a smaller, more narrow piece of paper. Post-its are your best friend. So you just adhere a couple of Post-its on the edge there. Put your paper out to where it would normally be, and then the magnet holds your Post-its, and your Post-its hold your paper. And then you can go in here and punch on that more narrow piece to get one more strip out of it. Perfect. Yay. All right. Saving my Post-it notes, because I know I'm just, you know, scrap happy. I just have to have little pieces of things all over my craft room, right? I'm sure you have that too. Okay, so let's separate out some of these snowflakes just in case we decide we want to use those. In our layout. Never know. And I don't want to get rid of them if we've got them. Right? Some of them are cut in half. I don't want the ones that are cut in half. I only want the whole ones. Okay, I don't think I'll use more than those. Oh, it's so hard not to keep them. Okay, just getting rid of that. I'm going to set those aside because we won't need them till much later. All right, I'm going to put my border maker back. Oh, actually, I don't know what I'm thinking. I have a whole lot more to punch. Okay. Goodness sake. All right, so I'm going to take this more green looking paper, and I can never remember the name. I just told you a minute ago, but I still, it's like my brain can't hold the information. I don't know. So I'm going to punch 2 of these. And I don't know if I'm going to want these snowflakes, but just in case, we'll just separate a few of them out. One more. So it's kind of fun to interpret sketches because you can really, you can make them as simple as you'd like, or you can make them as complex as you like. So depending on, you know, whether you're trying to do a really quick layout or you're trying to do something, you know, really special for a special occasion, may determine, you know, how much effort you want to put into it, how much punching you're going to do, you know, that kind of thing. But they can be so fun to just jazz up and just really have a good time with. So I'm going to punch 2 of our little winter towns, and we'll see if it's too much. I don't know. I think it will be really cute. In my brain, it's going to be really cute. We're going to see how it turns out. Because, you know, sometimes we think of things and we think, oh, that's going to be so fantastic, and then we go to put it together and it's just too much. So I'm going to punch that side, then I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to punch the other side, and then I can trim them both at the same time. So when you use these punches, they are a lot of fun, and the aim is to go ahead and cover up the design on the wing as you go. See how it's blue, and that design just matches exactly. And when you slide it through and you cover up that next section and keep your paper pushed to the back of the punch, then it lines up correctly each time. Really fun. And so easy. Like, I sometimes have difficulty with my hands. I'm getting a little older, and as I age, my hands are getting a little more, showing me a little bit more arthritis, which is, you know, not fun. I'm going to use my Victorian blade just to give this a little bit of a wavy looking base, because snow, though it looks smooth, is not always super smooth. Okay, so the tippy tops of my church or school steeples are going to be at roughly 1 3/8 height, just so I can keep that the same for both sides. And there's one. Gonna flip that over. Gonna put my school steeples at 1 3/8. And there we go. Okay, so there's that, and then we're going to use our trimmer to cut 2 pieces here that are going to be 3 1/4 by 12, so 3 1/4. See, this happens to me all the time. I forgot to switch my blade. Okay. Do we want to keep it that way? No, I think I want it to be straight. So that's all right. Putting my straight blade back in and trying again. Okay, I'll put that Victorian blade away before it gets me in trouble. All right, we're in trouble again. So 3 1/4, let's try this again. We need 2 that are 3 1/4 by 12. Fortunately, I have lots of cardstock to play with here. 3¼ by 12. Okay. Now we're going to assemble a couple of, we'll just do it like this, a couple of borders that are not going to go right on the border, but they are going to go across the lower portion of the page. Okay. So I'm going to have my snowflakes that are punched in the snowflakey paper go there in the middle, and then this one's going to go, or I'm sorry, they're going to go on the outside, and then this one's going to go in the middle. And I'm going to trim this piece off and add it on to this end down here. Okay, so that's the way it's going to look right there. So I'm going to grab, and then this piece of my town is going to go in front right here. And I think I might need to cut a piece of white with the town just to accent it a little bit so it shows up a bit better. So I'm going to grab my repositionable adhesive. I'm going to place this about a 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. Actually, more like a 1/2 an inch from the bottom, I think. Yeah. Okay, and you're going to do these in steps so that you can ensure that they are nesting the way you want. I love the way this just fits perfectly together. Super fun. Like that, and I'm going to grab my scissors, trim off this end right here. I'm going to get some repositional adhesive on that, and then it's going to fit right in here. Just like so. Now, if you wanted to, you could do these in 3 different colors or 3 different patterns of paper. Whatever makes you happiest. And then I'm just going to trim off this end because my punched paper was just a smidgen longer. Whoa. Longer than my cardstock. That one is done. Let's go ahead and do this one. Oop. Okay. Much better. All right. that one. Okay, remember we're offsetting this one, so I only put adhesive on part of it. I left that end bit about a ½ inch on the end with no adhesive for right now. And I'm going to trim it. And add it onto the end. Okay, I'm going to do this one. All right. So I think, let me grab some white cardstock and we'll just punch a couple of these towns in white so we can make it look like it's on snowy winter village. One more. Okay. Grab my trimmer. And you know what? Let's see. We used our Victorian blade to, okay, now watch me. Make sure I replace the skinny one before we get too far here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one a little bit deeper so that I have a shadow for my for this colored this bit right here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because there's no way that I can make my decorative blade match exactly to how I cut it on this piece. So if I just give it a little bit more space at the bottom, then it should look okay that way. So I'm going to give it, let's see, I'm going to put the tops of my schoolhouses to, I'm not sure what that measurement is. It's just beyond half to the very next mark there, the 16th mark. And that should be sufficient here. Let's double check it, but I think that should work. Yeah, so it allows me to have the shadow on top and have snow in front as well. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me flip this over. So just beyond the half mark to that next measure line. And that should be good. Okay, and then we will go ahead and adhere those together. If you don't have this punch, I don't want you to think you can't do this layout if you don't have this punch. You could certainly just leave the snowflakes the way we have them here and not worry about punching this extra. Like I was saying earlier, you know, there is a happy medium in there somewhere where you can jazz it up or not. So, you know, it is optional. It's completely optional. This is just meant to inspire you. So if you have maybe another village scene that you want to do, by all means, that would be appropriate. I'm going to probably set that right down in front. Maybe allow just a little bit of that lower of our main color border to show. And then there will be some photos that are matted that will go on top of that as well. So okay, so big snowflakes for a little tiny town, huh? Whoa, hello. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so there we go. Now let's grab our, so I need another full sheet of this, which I did not pull out, so give me just a second here. Okay, so we're going to use this color and we're going to make some mats for this page, and they're just very simple. We are just, all right. Whose job was it to remind me to swap those out? Good job. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to make these 4x6 mats. That will enable me to use my 4x6 photos and maybe trim them just 1/4 of an inch, and all will be well. Okay, so there's 1, 2, then I'm just going to stack those and cut them at 6. I've got my 6 mats, good to go there. Then in addition to that, I'm going to use some journal boxes that are from our mat pack that matches this. And so I want one of these, and half is going to be 3 1/4. That's going to give me my journal box. One we'll save for another page, and this one I think I'm going to need to look at and see space-wise whether I want to trim this or trim this. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so grabbing my base sheets again, let's go ahead and lay this out and see where we stand. Oh, I didn't punch my white snowflakes either. we'll get to those in just a minute too. So let me just scoot these so they're out of the way. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. They're all on the screen, so that's good. Okay, so these are going to go across the bottom. I love how the colors just work so well. And we're just going to lay this out here really quick so that I can make sure I can get my mats on here where I want them. We're going to do a vertical one up here and a vertical one over here. Maybe 2 horizontal ones here and 2 horizontal ones here. But you know, I'm going to put those on with repositionable adhesive so I can do vertical photos if I want to. These two I'm going to go ahead and lower so that I can add some embellishing right up there. This one I'm going to leave a little bit high so that I can add a journal box under it. So let's see where we're getting with all this. So my journal box is going to go down here underneath, and then over here on this side, if I keep this because I want my borders to be in the same place, so I can either leave these photos going the same direction and maybe move them up a little higher on my page like I've got there. And I'm scooting this in because I don't like it to be way out there on the side. Looks like it's flying somewhere. Okay, and then this is going to go in here, or maybe like this. I think we get more snowflake interaction if I just trim this one rather than this one. So let's do that. So we're going to trim this to 4 inches. That means that I need to make sure my design that I want is going to fit between my cutting edge and the 4-inch mark. Another way of doing that is just to find the 2-inch mark, which is in the center, and make sure that the design that I want is centered on that 2 inches. And I'm just going to trim these, flip it around and cut it at 4. And then that can go right here, and we may add just a little something with it. We'll see. Okay. So just gonna grab my repositionable adhesive, putting just a little bit on the back. Oop! I'm way ahead of myself, girls. So sorry. All right, let's get these borders adhered. Okay, so 1/4 inch from the bottom of the page. Same thing on this side. And I didn't trim this up, so let me just do that really quick because it's going to bug me if I don't. Okay, so keeping my base pages together, I can go ahead and match my borders so they're exactly the same height. There we go. Okay, now just going to grab my repositionable adhesive. on the back of my mats. And the reason I have that is so that if I need to turn it and make room for a vertical photo, I can do that with minimal disruption to my page. Since I don't have the photos yet that are going to go on here. And you can make this side picture, those borders be the same, or you can make them just a little bit different. Now that I look at the back page, back side, now I don't know which one I like better. Well, let's use the one with the great big snowflake. Okay, and then we're going to repositionable this one, and it's going to go down and kind of nestle behind the church. I think it's supposed to be a church. It could be a school, but I think it's supposed to be a church. Steeple. Let's see, I had that about there on the other side, so we'll try to keep it there on this side too. Okay, so now we can do a couple of embellishments. And I had this Winter Wonderland still left over, and this cute little house that I thought looked warm. Maybe we'll just put that at kind of an angle, and the house right there, like so. Then I'm going to grab my, where did it go? Here it is. My snowflake frame punch, and I'm just going to punch some snowflakes from this. Not really concerned about the paper I'm punching it from. I just want the snowflakes. Okay, so we can use these on our layout. And I should have punched it, probably not on my layout. Now I have little doodads stuck in it. Punch confetti. Okay. Let's grab foam squares and pop up at least these big ones. So we're gonna do like that, and like, let's see, let's use a couple of these back here as well. Come on. There. those. Kind of allows that white to show up just a little bit better. Okay, there we go. So some extra snowflakes down there, and then this one's going to go over here on our journal box. And we'll grab a couple of these. For color, obviously snowflakes are not going to be blue, but that's okay. Putting those just a little underneath that bigger snowflake allows it to stand out just a little bit more, so you can see it so much better. Okay, so then we're going to just put our little house up here, and if we need to turn our mats, you know, we'll figure it out when we get that far, but hopefully we don't need to do that. Winter, and then we'll pop Wonderland up with some foam squares. Come on. Winter Wonderland. Now I'm going to be humming that song for the rest of the day. All right. I think we are about finished with our Winter Wonderland layout. What do you think? Let's get that sketch back over here so you can see it. And we can compare notes. So that was what we started with. This is what we're ending with. Pretty fun what you can do with a sketch, huh? I hope that you've enjoyed spending this time with me, and I hope that it's been inspiring. I hope it inspires you to create something similar for your albums. And until next time, I wish you many more creative moments. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.